Of course I'm muted. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Every time. Oh, Lordy. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are having a great day. I know I'm muted. I got anyways. We have a lot to talk about. A lot. I got some new headphones that I'm working with for streaming because I want to make sure that it's a good experience, the sound volume. So I am actively working on that. If you have not already, like the stream, that would be amazing. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe and get in here. When I say get in here, I mean in the comments, in the chat. Oh, it's been a crazy day. Let me just say that. I don't know why it does that. If my kind of rule of thumb is if you're having trouble, exit out and then come back in and see if that fixes it. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm sorry. I mean, you're a member, so yeah. Oh, thank you, Green Acres. I appreciate you. Also, shout out to Alexis for gifting the memberships. Thank you so much for doing that. That's super kind of you. And also, just like DC says, replay crew, much non-culty love to you. Yes, we love replay peeps as well. Okay. Do I have any announcements? I don't think I have any announcements. The GoFundMe, if one of the mods can put the link to the GoFundMe for Yehudis, the last I checked, we had hit 10,500, which is incredible. And I'm very, very excited for that. I know that not everybody is in a place where they can donate, and that's 100% okay. If you're sharing, if you're here, you're helping push the message out, and it does go directly to Yehudis and her kids. And if some of you are like, what are you talking about? Yehudis is the name that we have adopted with the guidance of Rivka. I hope I said your name right. And who is a part of, Rivka. For some reason, I just had to check that for a second. I'm all over the place. I apologize. Rivka has done really incredible content. So if you have not watched her insight and her wisdom when it comes to the Jewish community and all of that stuff, I shouldn't say stuff like that. I don't mean it disrespectfully by any means. I've learned a ton, and I'm really, really grateful for that. So you can check out the GoFundMe, and it goes directly to the family. And really cool announcement. I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this. It has been shared with us that the get ceremony to spiritually divorce Aviram has been done, which is exciting. So that's one step. There's still, it sounds like, lots of other things that are going on that need to be addressed, but that's very exciting that she was able to get that step done. So there is still, from the sounds of it, a divorce that is happening. And so there's still, in my opinion, a battle. But shout out to you guys for supporting the GoFundMe. It's been really, really incredible. And we see you, Yehudis, and we support you. Okay. Let me also start with this. Let me see. Hold on. There's some questions here. Okay, good. Rivka, I appreciate you. I have learned a ton, and I'm looking forward to learning even more. They are great videos. Yes. Perfect. Thanks for noticing, DC. Perfect shirt to react to this fluffery. And fluffery, yeah, it is. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. I hope I didn't miss anything else. Shannon, thank you for this. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the super chats. You guys are incredible. Okay. Little story time real quick. So crack open whatever it is that you're drinking, water. I'm going to finish my energy drink because today was leg day. Yeah. Also, thank you for this, Charlene. This is in reference to tonight's today, this live stream we're doing right now. Fluffery is my favorite word. Period, comma, forever. Listen, this wouldn't happen without you, DC. You created this, so I appreciate you. You have your cease and desist hoodie on? I love that, Shannon. Why is not letting me pin your comment? Good Lord. I need DC's tinfoil hat for this one. Okay, a little story time. So I was doing a members only live stream this morning, eating breakfast, starting my day, getting organized, trying to figure out, what I wanted to react to. There was a lot of cool conversations. And it was disclosed that Jessie Lee was live with Jane Marie of the Dream Podcast. And I was like, what? So we watched it for a couple minutes. The screen blacked out, which was really weird. I've noticed that happens sometimes. So I think it was Clocka that was like, hey, I just messaged Jane Marie. I did the same, sent her a quick text and was like, did you know that Jessie Lee is live right now while y'all are recording this podcast? Because I do think that's a little bit weird. If you're going to be a guest on a podcast, I really feel like it negates the power of being on the podcast if you're live streaming it. I find that kind of odd. And so Jane Marie was like, no, I didn't know she was doing that. By the way, I have spoken with her today, and she did give me permission, which was really important to me, to react to this out of respect for her podcast, which has helped so many people. I wanted to make sure, and that was something that I told the members this morning when I was live, that I wanted to make sure she was okay if I reacted to this, because the podcast that was being recorded, I think, is for this upcoming season that comes out sometime this fall. Now, how do I know the process of recording a podcast with Jane Marie? Because I also have an episode coming out on the Dream podcast this fall, and I'm very excited about it. And so the process for me was, she sent an email, I responded back, we connected, I signed a release, which allows her to use the content, and then we recorded the episode, and then she does the editing and all of that stuff. That was the process for me. So I find it interesting, just before we even get into the video, that Jessie Lee was live streaming that, and I come to find out that Jane Marie didn't know that was happening. So that's a little weird to me, and that's before we even get into the content. So I just wanted to give you guys that information. I did get Jane Marie's permission to react to this. I know I already said it, but it was really important to me, out of respect, that she was cool with me doing this, because she's recording it for her podcast. So yeah. Also want to take a second to welcome the new members. You guys are amazing. If you, after this, scroll through the community tab, you should be able to find a Discord link if you would like to join and continue some of the conversations that we have here on my channel. You can join the Discord. Pretty cool. Lots of real conversations, lots of fun. And yeah. What else do I need to say? Yeah, I'm very excited about season 3. Let me just say this. The Dream podcast for me was something that was really, really beneficial as I was questioning being in an MLM. I listened to season 1. I listened to season 2. It helped put things into perspective. It helped add a period at the end of the things that I was questioning, instead of it being a question mark. And I think that what Jane Marie is doing is really, really important work. And so I'm excited. If you're not already subscribed to the Dream podcast, you should go listen. There's 2 seasons. If you've never heard of it, which, okay. You have 2 seasons to catch up on before this fall. Also, I have to sneeze, so hang on. Excuse me. Yeah, the Dream podcast is one of my favorites. Highly recommend. Agreed, Harper. Okay, let's get into today's video. As always, keep the commentary, keep the comments respectful. I don't have anything else. We're just gonna go with it. Okay. All right. Prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves.
Maybe we shouldn't be so worried that they're giving us a hard time and not calling us back. It's probably like really good news.
No news is good news. Exactly.
It's good news in this world.
So that's great. That's great. So yeah, we're going to talk about coaching and a little bit about MLMs and stuff today. But I just wanted to let you know before we get started here that if there's a question you don't want to answer or don't have an answer to or don't know what I'm talking about, we can just move right on.
Okay.
Let me also say, when I was recording my podcast with Jane Marie for the Dream podcast, not my podcast, I haven't done any recording for a podcast in a long time. Not sure if I'm going to, but anyways, there was a lot of conversation that we had that was just conversation and not content necessarily for the podcast. So I feel, and that was just my experience. I feel weird knowing that there are those kind of conversations that you're having that are not meant for the public, kind of, that are being live streamed or have the potential to be live streamed, like what she's doing here. I just find that really, really odd to me. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think.
Yeah. If I get to any corner of this,
I'm pretty open, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, thank you though.
So I think maybe you've been briefed a little bit about our show, but we did like a very deep dive into MLMs one season, a deep dive into wellness one season, kind of looking at things from all sides, somewhat regulatory, and then some experiential first person stuff. Like this season, we're talking about coaching. So I got a coach and it's been going great.
Everybody should have a coach, but I guess we'll probably talk about that.
I'm just going to be honest. I feel weird about coaching and how coaching is used in the MLM space, if you will. I think that it's overused. I think that there's a lot of people that don't have the credentials to be calling themselves a coach. It just feels icky to me. That's just my opinion. When it comes to MLMs. Yeah. I love my trainer. I think she's amazing. And in fact, that's when her and I started working together, I was like, what do I call you? Because I felt weird about calling her my coach, my lifting coach, my, all of that stuff. And so sometimes you'll hear me say my trainer, sometimes you'll hear me call her something different. It's because it feels weird to call her my coach, even though that's what she's doing and she has the credentials to back it up. It's just something that I have to work through because of all of the MLM stuff,
Here.
Yes.
This is what I hear. I live in LA. I'm not there right now, but yeah, everyone is a coach in LA, so it's very easy to find one. So can you just tell me, as we get started, give me your name and a little about yourself and what you're doing these days?
Sure. So I'm Jessie Lee Ward. Some people know me as bosslee or the people's mentor, but at any rate, so I do a lot of things, sure, but I am the #1 network marketer in the world. I also have an education company where I do coach entrepreneurs how to build and scale their businesses. And I'm a dog mom, most importantly. No, I'm kidding. But I'm just a serial entrepreneur, really, and I guess that's the easiest way to say it, and then I'll let you take the conversation wherever you'd like to.
Yeah. So what does #1 network marketer in the world mean, or how do you measure that?
Yeah, sure. So first of all,
I love that question. How exactly do you measure that? By the way, let's start. I don't know how to do all the fancy stuff that DC does, which is incredible, and I love it so much, but let's start a counter. Let's count the number of times that Jessie Lee directly contradicts herself. So it's coming. Just wait for it.
That I know of, at least reported, I'm the highest earner in network marketing, which is how some people would say is the most important. I actually don't think that's the most important metric to measure something like that. I think it's more important to pay attention to the influence that somebody has. So I'm on all of the biggest stages and have been now for 6 years straight. So I have a lot of influence over the actual profession itself. I'm also involved in the DSN, which no other reps in the entire world are actually involved in. So this is only for CEOs. And they bring me in to teach and train and coach and have some impact as well from the CEO side, so on the corporate side. And then I guess I'm just kind of really well known. So that could also just be where that comes from. But I'm sort of the face of the profession. So I think that's where.
Oh my God. The arrogance. Imagine if I was like, guys, I'm the face of anti-MLM content. I could never. Oh my God. That just made me snort. A legend in her own mind. Indeed. I can't believe the arrogance. Imagine the income that she would make if she had no team, which, from the sounds of it, sounds like she's getting ready to lose a large leg, allegedly.
Where that comes from.
And where did you get, like, have you always been like this? Like, did you want to be president growing up or anything like that? I find that a lot of people who who make it big in some field have just been.
Have you always been like this, Jean Marie? I love that. I know Jane Marie did not mean it that way, but that's how I'm hearing it. Have you always been like this? Short answer, probably.
Born that way?
I never wanted to be president. I wanted to be a doctor for a little bit, and then I wanted to be a geologist a lot. I think that's my...
You wanted to be a doctor? What? You guys already know what I'm about to say. This is not me laughing at her. I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable in this situation. I'm uncomfortable. Here she is battling her health in the way that she is choosing to do that, but she wanted to be a doctor growing up. The same people that she's villainizing right now, in my opinion. What?
Antisocial introvert showing. I liked rocks more than people. No, I'm kidding. I love people now, but I'm selective with my people, right? I wasn't selective about my rocks. No. I was always different. I would say that's a given. I was different. I was somebody who liked to control more things than maybe other people did. I also liked to push the status quo a lot, and I knew that I was just somebody who was... I could pace myself differently. I was definitely a self-starter, always was. So I had that entrepreneurial thing about me. Leadership came, I think, from being thrust into leadership more than, I was a born leader. I don't think I can agree with that so much, but
true.
Life circumstances certainly put me in that arena. Forever grateful for it. And then here I am, vice president of my network marketing company.
You are not vice president of your network marketing company. You are vice president of a department. There are two other female women, if you will, if they identify as such. I don't know. I don't know what their pronouns are, but there are two other individuals, two other human beings that are also vice presidents of departments. You are vice president of a department, not the entire company. Oh my God.
Almost president of the world. No, I'm kidding.
Can you tell?
I'm kidding. Except I'm not, really. That's the goal. Oh my God. I can't.
Tell me how you got thrust into that other career. Like, what was the... I mean, anecdotes are always the best, but if there's like a day or a moment where it was like, oh, now you have to get on stage. Now you're representing more than just your business.
Sure.
Maybe that day is like when you started coaching or something. Yeah.
So my first time being on stage was actually, my first time being on stage, it really was a thrust into kind of thing. It was one of these things where the CEO of a company said, what are you doing? Why is your business growing so fast? I want you to speak at this. I want you to speak at this regional event. And I was like, scream at a regional event? I don't know how to speak at a regional event. But luckily I had, in the college I went to, you had to...
Guys, get ready for contradiction number one. Here it comes. I don't know how to speak at a regional event. And then she goes into this spiel. I have also watched this ahead of time just to be prepared. And now she's about to go into a spiel about how she took one public speaking class in college and she loved it. So that made her qualified, even though just a second ago she said, I don't know how to speak at regional events, but she did so great in her public speaking class, the one college class. Oh,
take public speaking as a semester. Everybody had to. And most people had panic attacks when they had to do public speaking 101. And I rather liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked the idea of writing speeches and, the voice inflections and the adding the humor and watching the audience pay attention instead of boring them and like feeding off their energy.
Storytelling. Like what you did when you came back from Colombia that we all reacted to, that you have since deleted from the internet. And your favorite thing that you like to do, in my opinion, is to tell people, but were you there? We don't need to be there because the words came out of your mouth on your social media platforms. You can delete them, but it doesn't change the fact that we have them and have reacted to them. So but were you there doesn't apply because it came out of your mouth. So that's weird. But apparently that's what you learn in public speaking. How to tell a story.
And all of this, I think empathic people can be really, really good at public speaking. So at any rate, I just got thrown into it. She's like, I want to know how you're recruiting all these people. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to say. She said, just teach people what you're doing. I said, okay, I'll try. And I stumbled over it. I still remember it though. It was in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. I still remember what I wore and everything. So that's how I'm like, yeah, that was the first time for sure. And then I liked it. And then I became a corporate trainer. And I got to kind of travel the world doing that. Not the world, what am I talking about? I got to travel Tennessee and Ohio and Indiana doing doing that, just around, like in small town USA, basically. And then every time I was asked to speak in a corporate setting, I just really enjoyed doing it. And then it became, I started getting asked from big companies that weren't even in the network marketing space, hey, would you...
What time frame are we talking about here? Are you talking about, I just feel like she's skipped a ton. She's like, okay, I was a regional trainer, or I was a corporate trainer for Pure Romance, which we know she was. And then all of a sudden now these companies, like the skipping, the confusion, if you will, on this time frame that we're talking about is so odd to me.
Come speak for my company. Hey, I heard you really have incredible sales in your business. Would you speak for my team?
Exactly.
Hey, I hear that you are an incredible recruiter. Hi, I heard that you can scale businesses. Hey, I heard you're the social media girl who's unbelievable. Can you teach my company how to grow social media? Hey, I own a real estate agency or whatever.
I hope these companies that are hiring her allegedly are actually looking at the data. I hope that they're looking at the, what is it called? I cannot think of what it's called right now. Leg day brain should be a thing for real. The like social blade and the interaction, the percentage, help me out, guys. Engagement. Yes. Thank you. Shout out to the Clown Town. I appreciate y'all. By the way, go subscribe to them. DC has a channel. If you have a channel, shout it out in the comments. Go subscribe and support everybody. It's important. Also, Kathy, welcome to the show. Love that for you. I hope that these companies that are quote unquote hiring her are looking at her engagement. Just because you have a large following does not mean that people are actually engaging with you. So that's kind of important. Engagement. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Those things are called, right? I own a real estate agency. Will you come please speak to my people? They don't know how to brand themselves. And I just kept saying yes, and people would pay and pay and pay and pay and pay. And I started realizing, whoa, I'm really good at this. And people get a lot of results doing this. And people ask me constantly, will you coach me? Will you coach me? Will you coach me? And I said, gee, am I a coach? Good Lord. But it became, I tried.
Like it wasn't intentional. Like you didn't plan this ahead of time. Like it just landed in your lap. Come on.
One-on-one coaching for a while. The one-on-one coaching just couldn't scale. And
Exactly.
then I realized, gosh, I actually have a really good passion for this. And I'm not trying to recruit everybody into my MLM like a lot of these network marketers are. It's like everyone they see, they're headhunting. I've never been that person. And I said, hey, if I can serve people and teach them and train them and show them how to build their business to make 6 or 7 figures a year and grow that, then that's what I want to do. And so that is
Brandy. Oh, wait, where did this go? Where did this comment go? I have to pin this. Brandy's comments are just next level every time. Brandy and I are now engaged. Don't tell my husband or her wife, soon to be wife or wife, Brandy. Don't remember.
The really short synopsis, birth into the
Welcome,
bosslee
Jessie.
accelerator, but that's why I've done that, and I love it. It's really turned into a huge passion project. I'm kind of obsessed with it. So yeah.
Are you expensive?
I love that question that Jane Marie asked. But you know what's interesting is in one of her stories, and when I say her, I mean Jessie Lee, she was doing like a coffee enema, I think, at the time. Also, is she still doing coffee enemas? I don't know. But she was basically telling people to join her accelerator to pay for her health. I don't even want to call them treatments. Her health things that she is doing right now to try and battle cancer. Also, let me be very clear. I do want her to beat cancer. I think that it is important. I want her to beat cancer. I am not okay with her villainizing the medical community. I am not okay with her using fear mongering to scare people into not getting treatment or listening to their doctors. I'm not okay with the misinformation being spread. Anytime I react to Jessie Lee content, I want to make sure that I'm being very clear about that. I want her to beat this. I don't want her to suffer. And I do wish she would stop sharing misinformation around cancer and treatment and those kinds of things that are not backed up by evidence-based studies.
I don't think so. I actually know I'm underpriced. I'm pretty underpriced. I'm really underpriced according to my coach. So I should raise my prices. That's a good reminder.
I'm the person always telling people to raise their prices. When I found out what my coach was charging me, I was like, that's not enough. Like $85 an hour or something. I was like, that's ridiculous. What? And I understand I'm hurting myself here by telling you you're not charging enough. But,
no, I actually appreciate you even saying that. Like, I love this conversation. This is an important conversation for people to hear. So it's like, I really truly believe that you get what you pay for in anything. So, and it's stupid. It's almost stupid what I'm about to say. I know that I pay my coach $30,000 an hour. I'm not exaggerating.
Wow.
$30,000 an hour. I'm pretty sure she's talking about Ed Milet because Eric Worre could never. He could never. So I'm pretty sure she's talking about Ed Milet. Also, so weird that Jane Marie is like, yeah, this is what I pay my coach. And she's like, oh, I pay mine $30,000 an hour. Ew. But she's going to complain about a $6,000 medical bill that she had to pay in her stories last night. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Wow.
Okay, so I know. But let me tell you about the
Meantime,
results
Karina.
I get from having this guy coach me, okay? It's ridiculous. It's like I'm able to tap into the network. I'm able to tap into his brain. I'm able to tap into his expertise. He's built things that I've wanted to build. And he helps and he guides me. It's a time machine. You know, you don't know how much time you have on this earth. Nobody does. So why you diddle?
Thank you for this, DC. I pay my coach $30K per hour, but I'm running out of money to fight cancer. So join my MLM and my accelerator. Yeah. Nailed it. I know. Telekinesis, Karina. Thank you for the super chat, DC. I appreciate you. Why you always lying?
Daddling around, wasting your time trying to figure everything out when you're staring at somebody who's done exactly what you want to do. You should hire them. So I don't charge enough either. You said 85 an hour. My group coaching is nowhere near 85 an hour. That's it. Prices are going up. That's it. After this podcast, you better join now if anyone listening, because that's it. The price has gone up.
Is anybody else wondering why she did this interview for this podcast? Because her energy here, in my opinion, is like, this is a pro MLM podcast. It's interesting to me because we all know the Dream podcast is very much anti-MLM. So I'm kind of confused what her strategy was in all of this. You know?
We come out in September, so yeah.
All right, so they have
gone up.
Well, I don't know when my podcast with Ed Milet's coming out, but prices are going up before that goes out because
Ew. Imagine interviewing on a podcast you were invited to be a part of and then promoting somebody else's podcast. Gross.
Yeah, this is everyone's last chance to join my accelerator at this cost.
Oh, that's hilarious. I just to be completely transparent, I have a book coming out in March on Atria, and I have this show.
Jane Marie, we are so excited about your book. So excited. How many of you, just drop it in the comments, want to read Jane Marie's book? I'm excited about it.
Where I talk a lot about anti-MLM stuff, mostly just why does this industry exist where like no one really makes any money.
Look at her facial expression right now. Is this where she learns, because they didn't do their due diligence, in my opinion, that it's an anti-MLM podcast? Her entire energy, I feel like, just shifted right here. I know. She's releasing a book. She said, I think it's March of next year is what she said. I know. It's very exciting. Aaron, that's empathy face. I think this is where she figured it out. Like, oh, this is not a pro MLM podcast.
But people just keep signing up anyway. Like, it seemed like the dominant narrative.
When I say positive, let me also be very clear. When I say positive, I mean like pro MLM. I think the Dream podcast is extremely positive, but I just wanted to be clear on what I was saying.
Be like the true narrative. Would you just give me your take on the industry? Because you said you're a real proponent of it.
Sure. I love your honesty in saying that off the bat.
Yeah.
So I think it's like anything. I think some people are going to suck at everything they try to do except for what they're made to do. And then some people are going to be great at it. I also think not everybody has work ethic, but they want to compare things like they do. I don't think everybody has talent. I don't think everybody has skill sets. I don't think everybody's willing to learn. And that's not just network marketing. So it's like, I look at waiting tables. Why was I the waitress that could always make way more money than everybody else? Well, I was personable. I was likable. I got to know people. I was smiling. I was charismatic. I got to know the menu better. I would upsell. I would cross sell. I would take extra shifts. I would do what people weren't willing to do. Well, I look at how I'm going to be in network marketing. I joined. I said, 1% of...
I'm sorry. I had to pause this because I feel like she needs to catch her breath for a second. But imagine thinking you are the best at everything that you do. The best, meaning you're never in a state, in my opinion, of learning new skills because you're automatically the best at everything that you do. That is so weird to me. So weird. There's more that I want to say, but I am not somebody that can diagnose anything, Oh, paging AM social psychology. We need you.
People can make $1 million a year. I'm going to be the person that makes $1 million a year. I put in more hours. I went to more events. I took more trainings. I spent a lot more time. I made a lot more sacrifices. I got in all the right rooms. I did all the right things. I treated it like a business. And so I look at a lot of people who join network marketing, and the big problem with network marketing is it's an even playing field. Right? Nobody asks you, hey, are you a criminal? Hi, did you go to Yale or did you come from jail? Hi, what is your experience in something like this? Hey, have you done anything like this before? Hi, are you coachable, leadable, teachable? Do you have any sales experience? Have you ever recruited anybody before? Are you somebody who will show up?
There's another contradiction. She said a while ago, it's not for everybody. But then she's like, anybody can do it. People aren't going to question your history.
To events? Are you somebody who blames and shames and justifies everybody with everything? Are you somebody who takes accountability for things that you do? Nobody asks any questions. Right? They just say, oh, hey, you have 700.
Nobody exercises critical thinking. Nobody questions you saying you're the number one network marketer in the industry. You're the face of network marketing. What? So your argument is that you like the fact that you can, from your own words, in my opinion, take advantage of people because they trust you. They trust you when you say you're the number one network marketer in the world, but there's no data to show that. They trust you when you say, hey, go live. Hey, do this. Hey, do that. Hey, join my accelerator. They trust you. And that's why they're not questioning you. So you're identifying, in my opinion, a specific type of person that's just going to believe what you say. I feel like that's dangerous. I feel like critical thinking is really, really important. I think that being able to take a step back and process how you're feeling and ask questions and research, I think all of that is extremely important. And when you are presenting something, an opportunity, and you're encouraging people to not ask questions, ew.
$100, you're qualified.
Right
well,
there.
that's the problem.
I know I paused it in the middle of that sentence, but she said, oh, you're qualified. You've got $700 that you can spend. You're qualified. So it's not for everybody, but it kind of is if you have the money. What?
And then also in network marketing, a lot of the big problem is people say, oh, it's really easy. You just join and you make money. Well, I just told you in 35 seconds before this, I've put in a ton of work. I learned how to do a lot of things. I built a lot of skill sets. So it's like,
oh my God, I didn't know that you can pre-order her book. If you guys want to, check it out. Go pre-order Jane Marie's book. I didn't even know that was a thing. It comes out on March 12th, 2024. I love that. Thank you for sharing. That's very, very cool.
anything, if you compare network marketing to real estate, the failure rate's almost identical. But I don't really hear anybody saying that real estate is a scam. I hear a lot of people saying real estate's unbelievable. Okay, so is real estate a scam or is it unbelievable? I could ask you. If 90% of people
that, like with,
go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, I think about the same thing with coaching. People talk about, oh, the difference between a coach and a therapist, for example, is like, well, this person has a degree and a certification and a license and a board that, you know, makes sure they're doing things by the book. And this other thing is, you know, there's no rules basically, and no barrier to entry, and anyone can call themselves a life coach.
Well, it's the same in network marketing, right? It's the same.
Yeah.
Anybody can say, I'm the top network marketer. Anybody can say, I'm the best at what I do. Anybody can say, I make 6 figures. Anybody can say a lot of things, right? It's like, who's fact checking? Anyone can say I'm certain.
We are fact checking. The anti-MLM movement is fact checking. We're asking questions. We're critically thinking. What do you mean? Anybody can say you're the number one. Who's going to fact check that? We are. What? I can't.
Certified in whatever it is. So there is definitely a point to that. But 90% of people who have real estate licenses, to go back to your point of license, 90% of people with a real estate license have never sold a house.
Yeah.
And 99.7% of people in multi-level marketing, according to the FTC, lose money or don't make any at all. And the prove it income disclosure statement, I think it's like under $11 because I don't have it in front of me. But if you look it up, it's under $11 was the average that people made in 2022, I believe, for the year. So since we're throwing around some statistics and data, let's talk about it. Also, comparing real estate to multi-level marketing, weird, unless you're in EXP Realty, which in my opinion is very, very similar, if not a full-blown multi-level marketing company. I know Julie Anderson has done lots of videos on EXP, or has done videos on EXP Realty, but that's a fallacy, my girl.
But I would say 90% of people who join network marketing, even if they sell one thing.
I think the problem is, I'll send you a copy of my book.
Yeah. Sure. We'd love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'll send you a copy.
This is where Jane Marie was having some trouble with her internet, and what she shared with me is that she's currently on vacation and the Wi-Fi is not the best. So that's why. Also, there is a little bit of a delay I noticed when I was recording with Jane Marie for her podcast, there's a little bit of a delay. So like you have to be kind of patient in the conversation.
we can.
Uh-oh. Is that your internet?
And we can maybe reconnoiter later for next season. So can I ask about your style of coaching? I've watched a lot of your videos and I feel like your style is like, I don't want to say aggro, but very like, you're very boisterous, you're kind of tough. Was that a choice or is that just like how you naturally are?
Can I ask you a question?
Just wait for you guys.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Do you pay for my coaching? Like in the accelerator?
Do I pay for your coaching?
Yeah, like are you in the accelerator program?
No.
My coaching's not boisterous.
No.
Just remember that she just said this. Let's also remember that her little trailer on her podcast has entered the chat and begs to differ because her entire brand, her whole bosslee persona that she takes on is extremely loud, is extremely aggressive. That she says it in her thumbnail, or not her thumbnail, excuse me, her trailer on her YouTube video. Her entire brand has been made around that. And so now when she's questioned about it, she's like, oh, but were you there? It doesn't matter because you are putting out the content that you are, and that's part of your brand. And so to be offended, I think that this doesn't really have anything to do with the question. And I think it's everything to do with she is now, realizing that this is not a pro MLM podcast. Again, in my opinion, they just didn't do due diligence to see what the Dream podcast was about. We'll get there later though. And so I think this is her just saying, oh, well, you think I'm aggressive, but were you there? Are you a part of the coaching? Well, it doesn't matter because we see what you put out on social media. We see how you react when people don't like or speak out against what you are doing, the tactics, what you're saying, the misinformation, all of that stuff. We see how all of that happens. And this is kind of the start of it. Wild.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't?
No, not at all.
That's so funny. Do you tell people that when they sign up? Like, you're not going to get the same thing that you see online?
No, because that wouldn't be accurate either. I think that it's important to realize that what you see on social media tends to be a snippet of somebody's personality or like a little glimpse into their life. But inside of my coaching, it is very tactical. It is super, super kind, loving, open, empathetic, listening. It is responsive into what people need, especially in my platinum coaching. It's super conversational.
Mike, am I cutting out? Or is Jessie Lee cutting out?
You're cutting out a little bit, Jane.
Oh, she jumped out. I think her internet just crashed.
She might have she'll jump back in a second.
Okay.
I think what's happening is Riverside tries to send the audio, but it might be on a delay with that. But she'll jump back in a second.
Okay, cool. Should I keep answering that, or should I wait for her to come back? Probably wait.
Let's wait for her to come back, just in case she has any follow up.
Okay.
Whatever.
Cool. Yeah. I wasn't done answering anyway, so. I was like, wait, I'm not an aggressive coach. I should be aggressive. Oh. Do it or die. No, I'm
kidding. Let's see.
Just remember she answered it this way.
Get a request from her in a second.
I think she's coming in.
I think she's coming in, yeah. I saw something.
Yeah, so did I.
Let's see. Jane is in the lobby. Here we go. Hi, Jane.
Hi.
Hey. Sorry, we lost you.
Hi, I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah, you were just saying that your coaching is different than what you might see online.
Yeah, because I think you just get snippets of people online, right? It's different in my coaching program. My coaching is super sincere. It's open. It's honest. It's conversational. Is it directive in regards to do this, get that? Yeah, sure. But I don't think people hire coaches so they can say, I don't know, theoretically speaking, maybe you could try this in your business and then maybe that would work. No, I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? Today's training is on sales. Here's the training. But anybody who's part of my program would never describe my coaching. I think, in my opinion, I guess they could probably fill out a survey or something and let you know.
Oh my God. Life with Robin, thank you so much for this. Even on vacay, I am so here for this. Thank you. Oh, and also thank you, Hermit. One word, delusional. Yeah, agreed. It's like I feel like the way that she is going about this is like she's just forgetting everything else that she's put out as far as content under her bosslee persona. It's so weird to me.
But I don't think they would call it boisterous or aggressive or even tough. I don't think that's any of the languaging that they would use. Even in my one-on-one coaching, I'm not tough unless somebody says, I need you to whoop on me. And I'm like, okay, like, what does that mean? Like, what are you looking for here? And they're like, I need you to smack me around because I'm not doing what I need to do, and I don't know why I keep self-sabotaging. I'm like, all right, here comes passionate Jessie Lee, let's go. And that's about it. But no, I think...
So passionate Jessie Lee, meaning that you're not passionate when you're being kind? I don't know.
I'm super open. I think that my coaching is probably really different than what you may be assuming it is, but I think I'm really different than people assume I am from the internet anyhow. So when you get to know me,
I think so. I mean, probably like if I go through the videos and look, it's like you talk a mile in a minute and you're very excited and it feels like really intense. Even like short videos. So that's I think why I was making that assumptive caretaking vibe that some coaches have, like there's
I'm not like I'm not a spirituality coach, so I'm not one of these coaches who's like
I'm looking at social.
Sorry, I think your internet's going crazy on us, Jane. But yeah, I mean, I don't claim to be like a feminine energy coach.
I'm here still.
Okay. I don't claim to be, someone who's gonna just talk about how beautiful you are and wonderful you are and want to cuddle you. I'm the coach that you would hire if you're looking for actual results. So that I will say is true, but maybe that's why I attract males and females. I don't just attract women. Like I see a lot of these spirituality coaches right now, which nothing wrong with them, of course, because that's their niche, right? And they say, join me and I'm going to teach you how to become more spiritual and more in alignment with your life. And that's just not what if you hire me as your coach in the accelerator, you're going to learn business skills. I'm going to show you how to make money. I'm going to show you how to, I'm going to show you how to, take your business to the next level. We're not going to sit around in kumbaya. If that's what you're looking for, I don't know. I don't even know who to refer you to because that's not me. But
what's so weird about this is that she just said a few minutes ago how she's super kind and has great conversations in her coaching, but then she's like, yeah, I'm going to give you directives. And if you are a coach, I'm going to relate this to basketball or any sport or whatever. There's a certain amount of pushing people that I definitely think. I don't think that it's a bad thing to say, hey, I'm tough on the people that I coach. People are paying for that. But it's the fact that she is like, oh no, I'm really nice. Oh no, I'm not aggressive. And it's like she's forgotten everything else that she has put on the internet before. Her, again, I know I'd already said this, but like her whole brand is about being aggressive as the bosslee character that she has created. So I don't know.
But yeah, I'm actually probably...
How do you measure success for yourself and for your, this is like kind of a philosophical question, but like, what is success to you? Is it money? Is it fame? Is it, amassing followers? Like what
so mad
makes
right now
a successful business person?
Well, what makes it...
I feel like this is coming up. I feel like you can really tell when, in my opinion, that she's bothered because you'll see her reading some of the comments, all of the comments on this Facebook. And by the way, shout out, I forgot to do this at the beginning. I apologize. Shout out to the individual that sent this to me. You know who you are, and I appreciate you so very much. So thank you for sending this to me. My apologies for not saying that at the beginning of this. She will start reading the comments and you can see her like reacting. To me, it feels like, and you guys let me know when we get to that point, but to me, it feels like a teenager reacting to something. I don't know how else to explain it. That's not me being like condescending or anything by any means. That's just how how I'm describing the reaction. It's like she's being fed from the comments, because all of the comments on her video are very, yeah, get her, Jessie Lee, and like that kind of stuff. Nobody said that. It's just that kind of vibe. Let me be clear. But it's very, very interesting. JLW shared this live as it would improve sales. Yeah. Yikes. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, her minions are pumping her up. Yeah, very well said. A teenager. And that's not me saying anything like bad about her. It's just how I am trying to describe the reaction, but just wait for it. It's coming.
Successful business person and what success is
Better
to me
said,
are two different
Charlene.
things.
Thank you.
So what success is to me is joy. Has nothing to do with money.
Okay.
So I feel joyful when I'm able to live the life I want. I feel joyful when I'm able to spend more time with my dogs. I feel joyful when I'm able to travel the world and not worry about what it costs to do so. I feel joyful when I'm able to give a ton of money to a lot of people. I feel joyful when I'm able to spend a lot of time with my godchildren. I feel joyful when I'm able to spend time with my family. I feel joyful when I'm able to relax and read a book and hang out at home.
Love it.
So, and all these other things. That's success to me. So creating a life that allows me to do that is what success is. Success to other people, sure, they're going to say it's money, but I think that those are people who tend to not really actually have success. And the reason I say that is because I chased money. Sure, I thought that money was going to fix everything. I thought money was the great, the great whatever. But it's not. It's important, but it's important because it allows you to give it away, in my opinion. So, but for
I feel like that's a whole nother contradiction, because she chases money. She chases all of that, in my opinion, from the flexing that she lives in a penthouse and the flexing, of her cars that we've seen in the past, and, paying the paying of the medical bills, even though she's complaining about it, and then trying to shame people or guilt people, in my opinion, into joining her accelerator, her coaching. It's really weird to hear her say that she's not motivated by money when everything, and again, we're only seeing what she shows us on social media. I will agree with her there. Everything that she's showing us on social media, in my opinion, is really about money, which is fine. If you're driven by money, cool, right on. Everybody is going to define success different, and there's nothing wrong with that. If money is your driving factor, awesome. There's no reason that you need to be like deceptive about that,
For me, success is not about how much money I make or how many followers I have. I do want to leave an impact, obviously, but I think I do so based off of chasing that joy.
Can you picture a much smaller life for yourself?
No,
someday?
Of course not. No. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by a much smaller life?
Like just living alone in a cabin in the woods with your dog.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But I have 2 dogs and a wonderful partner.
Or both of your dogs.
I'm going to pause this really quickly. Elizabeth, thank you for the super chat. Did something happen with her and Abiram? She hasn't mentioned him in these answers, given her stance previously. I'm not really sure. But I appreciate the super chat. Thank you.
Live in a little cabin because there's already 3 kids, and we could put them outside, and let them run, but
those are not your children. You and Aviram are not married. I feel like this is a perfect example of her and her jabs, in my opinion, when it comes to Yehudis. I'm a parent, and I can't imagine, if this were me, what that would feel like if somebody was claiming my children as their own. I don't like that. I think that that's extremely disrespectful. It's one thing to be a step parent and to, parent the kids like they're your own, but I don't feel like that's what this is. I feel like this is just a jab at Yehudis, like we've seen time and time again. And I think that's really gross.
Be frowned upon. So
I think I'm projecting because I have this fantasy for myself. I've been in media for like 25 years. And it gets, there's got to be like some peace at the end because it's just such a hustle.
I love that, Jane Marie.
I struggle all the time, but it's worth it.
Well, so that goes back to joy, though. So then you almost identify with success the same way I do. So like my my house is a sanctuary. So like I chose not to have I had the 6-bedroom house. I had all these fancy things. I had, but I had 5 cars at a time plus the car dealership, which I still have the car dealership, but that's neither here nor there. Now I just live in the penthouse, you know, which, okay, fine. It's a penthouse, but it's just me, my dogs, my man, and a bunch of plants, you know, like I don't hear anything. It's a luxury penthouse. So there's, what is it? Soundproofing in every room, you know, not just me, but like, I don't hear nothing from nobody. It's amazing here. So I have my little.
Does anybody else think that the details that she shares is so kind of out of place? Why do we need to know that your penthouse is soundproof in every room, soundproofed in every room? Why do we need to know that? I just feel like some of these details are so weird, what she's choosing to share. I don't know. Also, Janet said, no, the dealership and the restaurant closed down. So weird. That's very weird. Unless it's a new LLC or something. I don't know.
Sanctuary here. I have a private garage, so I get to exit from a private garage. I don't have to see anybody if I don't want to see anybody.
We'll see how long they stay alive. Maybe Courtney will come in and water them for her.
And so I've created my own little bubble. But so I guess this is like my cabin in the woods. That's 15 minutes from the airport.
Except it's not a cabin in the woods. You're in the middle of the city.
Nice.
But no, I like stuff like that. I like nature. I like chilling out. I like doing all that stuff. So yes, I like things like that. Slowing down, if that's what you're asking. I'm in that stage of life right now. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you probably have to be right now.
Time, Katie.
Taking care of yourself, you know, not pushing too hard. Couple questions because we got like 5-6 minutes left. One, I did hear all about the Colombia trip. Any more notes on that? I saw some of yours.
Just wait. My friends, Jane Marie says she spoke with me. Just wait for the change in body language. Yeah.
Response videos, but I'm not like in Facebook or anything, so I don't really know much about that other than there was like a lot of chatter on TikTok about it being kind of brutal.
Sure. Well, what have you heard? I want to know about the trip because it sounds like people on TikTok think they were on the trip.
See, here's the thing. We didn't need to be on the trip because not only did you tell us on your social media platforms all about the trip, unless you were lying. Now, if you were lying and you got caught, that's on you. But we were reacting. When I say we, I mean the anti-MLM movement, whatever platform, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. We were reacting to the words that came out of your mouth from the videos on your social media platforms. Whether you've deleted them or not, it doesn't matter. We still have the videos. So it's interesting watching her double down on, but were you there? We didn't have to be, because not only did you go live, but some of the people that were on that trip with you, Jessie Lee, also corroborated what you said. So as the story has changed, as there was more and more, what do I want to call that? More and more content that was put out reacting to your videos, the story changed. And it's going to be really interesting because she talks about how, here in a few minutes, she talks about how I don't feel like I need to defend myself. Well, your YouTube content and a lot of lives that you did says otherwise.
Yeah, that it was a lot, like that there was just a brutal hike and it was a lot more intense and people weren't prepared for it, basically.
Well, I've noticed
I talked to Aaron. Yeah, I talked to Aaron Bees a bit about it. But there's been
was she on the trip? Because I think I was on the trip, but I'm not. I don't
need to be on the trip.
She wasn't. No.
Thanks, Kathy.
So TikTok journalism and YouTube journalism are very interesting to me. Because it seems to me like there tends to be little to no research done whatsoever.
Kind of like the research that you did on the Dream podcast before you accepted being on it, right? That's how that works, isn't it?
And a lot of crazy, salacious stories come out because they get views, right? And views make you money. I also find it interesting that these people have to use my name in order to get any views, but I guess that's kind of normal, right?
Oh, that's cute. You thought you did something there. Now, if I was only reacting to Jessie Lee content, I'd be like, yeah, she's got me. However, I like to cover all companies. So Doesn't really work here. And also, we don't need your content in order to make money. For those of us that are monetized, we are part of a movement. We're educating people on how not to join pyramid schemes, MLM companies, network marketing, whatever it is that you want to call it. So that's interesting. Also, it's called commentary, and commentary is providing commentary on the information, the videos, the stuff that you share. So your anger, it seems, I don't know if she is angry. I'm just going with how I'm feeling watching this. I really feel like it's a little misguided. If you're going to be mad at somebody, you should be mad at yourself because of the content that you put out. And maybe it was storytelling. Maybe it's going back to that public speaking class that you took in college, where you learned how to tell a story and you learned how to, in my opinion, manipulate your audience. And if that's the case, then maybe don't lie, because we all reacted to your videos that you've one that I know of has since been taken down. So if you're mad about that and trying to negate what the movement is doing by pointing out the misinformation, the disinformation, and pointing out your manipulation tactics, in my opinion, your frustration, if you will, is a little misguided.
So first thing I would do if I were to call Colombia an aggressive hike is I'd probably check the topography of Cartagena. Cartagena has no hills, has no mountains.
This is where I want to be like Exhibit A and cut to her video where she is talking about the hike in her own words, in video, from her YouTube or from her Facebook. Actually, I think it was on all platforms before she deleted it.
How could it be a brutal hike if there's no hills?
I don't know. I'm not sure where
Because
exactly it was, but I know that's the town you were staying in, but I don't know exactly where it was.
The entire topography of the entire region of Cartagena has no hills, no mountains. So immediately untrue. Second thing is nobody asked if anybody had asked anything about maybe waivers or asked about health anything or asked about going on the trip or what kind of trip it was, because everybody who talked about it wasn't on the trip.
Again, refer to the video of you in the pink crop top that you've deleted, where you're telling us about the trip. Refer to any of the other people that did live streams or live videos, where they are corroborating what you said. We don't have to be on the trip. So if you're upset that people are covering this and still talking about this, which it seems like maybe could be here, you're the one that put this out on the internet. We're just reacting to the words coming out of your mouth.
So I don't really feel any need to defend myself about something that was an unbelievable leadership experience of people who, all 16 people, had an amazing time, made content about how incredible it was, made content about how much it shifted them as leaders.
Yeah, we reacted to that, where they were telling us about somebody being put on the back of somebody's motorcycle or whatnot that they didn't know that was a Colombian resident. We saw that. We heard from the gal that has diabetes. We heard all of that. There were several of us that reacted to those stories corroborating what you said, that you're now trying to say, but were you there, bro? It doesn't matter. We don't have to be. So you're either lying, in my opinion, or you don't remember what you said. But I mean, you did delete it for a reason.
The one person that's a diabetic has had stable sugars ever since then, has completely transformed her entire life, and credits a lot of it to that trip. So if I'm supposed to apologize for it, geez. I don't.
Nobody's asking you to apologize. We're just pointing out the inconsistencies in your story. We're pointing out the contradictions in your story. It wasn't this crazy thing. Oh yeah, I was trying, I tricked them. We had this plan. We told them it was 2 hours. It was really 15. We stayed overnight on a beach. All of these things were contradictions that are being pointed out that obviously you're not really a huge fan of. And that's okay. I mean, I'm sure it's a hard thing to say, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have put that out. I shouldn't have said that. That's difficult to do for anybody,
I don't think I was asking for that. I was just asking what your perspective, or, just what
My
your experience
perspective
was.
is that it sounds like people with very bad journalism have gotten in your ear, and it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't agree with that. I think that it is us reacting, just like I've already said multiple times, to the content that you put out, Jessie Lee. So it's unfortunate for you, I suppose.
like I talked to a lot of people, so
None of you were on the trip, right? Like you haven't had
Doesn't
any
matter.
conversation with anybody who went?
yeah, I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody who was there,
She doesn't
but
need
I'd
to.
love to.
They did live videos talking about it. So unless they're lying on their videos and Jessie Lee is lying on her videos, what do we need to talk to them about? You know?
If you have some names, I'd love to speak to some folks who were there.
See her reading the comments and reacting. This is that teenager, in my opinion. I'm not saying she's a teenager. I'm not speaking poorly about her. I'm just saying her reaction to me feels like a teenager that has done some like bad behavior or something and is being hyped up by their friend group chat. That's what this feels like to me. Again, I'm not saying she's a teenager. That's just what this feels like. You can see she's uncomfortable, and you can see that she's reading the comments and she's laughing while she's recording this podcast with Jane Marie of the Dream Podcast. And Jane Marie didn't even know that she was live while this was all happening. Absolutely wild.
So, okay, then back to your like accelerator. Can you tell me some success stories, and I was also thinking like your most surprising client, like has someone come to you from a completely different world, and you've been able to, create change for them?
Sure. So I've had a pretty amazing. Well, it's been amazing. Let's see, we've got over 1,600 people in the accelerator, so the testimonials are wild. Everybody can go to bosslee.com and they can read some of them before they make a decision if they'd like to.
Did you say 1,600?
1,600.
Wow. Okay.
And so it's amazing. It's been incredible watching people transform not only as people, it depends what level they're in. So the silver accelerator is all mindset coaching. And that level is fun. It's two times a month. I jump on there. I do mindset coaching with them. They also get a social media course or a
mindset coaching. Sounds so different than anything else we've heard. Is this the level that she was all pissed off about only one person out of like 30 something getting on the call? Mindset.
Of course, I suppose now we shifted some of the training last week. But anyway, so that is awesome. I love it. Some of the shifts in here are just people saying, I've known what I need to do in business. I know the skills. I know what I have to do. I just don't know what's wrong with me and why I can't get off my hump and get it done. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm like, hey, no problem. Like, some of us just need to go back into the personal development world a little bit. Sometimes we just need to shift our mindset a little bit. And for me, I love doing that call. I would recommend everyone on planet Earth join the Silver Accelerator. It's super inexpensive anyway. But I would recommend anybody do it because even for me going through what I'm doing with the whole cancer journey that I'm destroying, it's amazing. I'm so proud of myself, quite frankly. But I'm gonna thank me for being me. No, it reminds me every day you get to shift your perspective. You get to be the person who motivates and inspires others to do more in their life. And then when you have that, then you can go boom and you can go into the skill set. So the transformations from that are a lot of people, sometimes even very large leaders, $1 million earners who are coming on this call and going, I just needed you to kind of, remind me how to set up my life and my mentality for success. And then the Gold Accelerator, some of these are really cool. These are the testimonials that come in. They don't shock me. None of it shocks me because I don't teach in theory.
Yeah.
So a lot of coaches, I think this is one of the things that is just, it's silly to me. A lot of coaches will teach and train on things they've never had success in. Well, in my accelerator program, I only teach and train on things that I've done. So I get on there and then people go, oh my gosh, my social media following increased by 2,000% in a week. I'm like, yeah, duh. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I just made an extra $4,000 in my first month of the accelerator. I'm like, was I supposed to be shocked? Or like I did a whole training on how to
Can you give me yeah.
Like I did a training. I said there was a training one week. I said I will guarantee you will get a brand deal if you have under 1,000 followers if you follow what I tell you to do in this training.
And how many people got brand deals? And what were who were the deals with? I think what Jane Marie is wanting is some specifics and telling people, oh, you can go to my website and see all the testimonials. Well, why not just have those specific things? Why not pull it up on your phone and say, so and so experienced this, this is what they said? Why not be able to just share those specific things? Because the vagueness of this is what it seems kind of weird to me, just my opinion. You guys let me know what you think in the comments, but if your program is that good, you should be able to give some specific testimonials, I feel like. But I mean, I don't know.
And I did. And the people came back and they're like, I got a brand deal from this and this and this and this and this. I'm like, boom, shakalaka, I told you. And then the platinums are nuts. The platinums are cool. These are the leaders, these are people in all kinds of different professions. A lot of brick and mortar owners are on my platinum program, although obviously top network marketers, a lot of top real estate agents and investors are as well. But some of my favorite testimonials, like I've got a girl, she owns a candy company. And I've helped her scale her candy company, and she's trying to credit me for 4 months adding $500,000 in revenue to her business. I said, well, I taught you and I trained you how to do it, sure, but you did it. It wasn't me. I'm not taking credit for it. Or my platinums also get meetups with me, and at the meetups, not only do they get to meet each other, these are all.
Why wouldn't you, if you were so proud of those results, why wouldn't you share the name of the business owner of the candy store and mention the name of it? If you're that proud, why not share that information? And I don't know.
All 6 and 7 figure earners, sometimes 8, or there's a couple 8-figure earners in there too. And then I bring my friends, like my big old business badass friends, and we hang out and I show people, listen, y'all need to shift your network. You don't have enough powerful people in your network. That's the reason why your net worth is low.
Is this her still answering about testimonials? Am I missing something?
Oh, and so there's some people who are like, I didn't know if I should spend that kind of money to join. I'm glad I joined. And now look at my business, look at my life. So, I mean, testimonials, we could be on here for 7 weeks straight.
Yeah, I'll look at the website for sure. So I know we're out of time, but just I have one last question. Sure. We'll have a ton more questions, but while we have this half hour. So could you, I've been interviewing so many people for this season, and the common refrain is like, once you learn this stuff, could you give me a taste of, like, practically speaking, like, what are you teaching people? Like, you're not, like, I understand probably there's some mindset stuff, but when I was thinking about getting a coach, I wanted someone to, like, call me every single morning and tell me what to do.
Okay, this is where it gets extremely condescending, in my opinion. Again, I have watched this fully prior to reacting. I just needed to know what I was getting into. She gets really, and this is my opinion, she gets really nasty here. She gets very condescending. I think it's because she has had enough, and I don't feel like Jane Marie was jabbing her. I think she was asking really great questions. Not that she needs me to say that or anything like that. However, I feel like Jessie Lee just didn't like the questions. That's what it feels like to me. And I just wanted to give everybody kind of a warning. This is where, in my opinion, Jessie Lee gets really kind of nasty.
With my day, like at 9 o'clock, you're going to do this. At 10 o'clock, you're going to do this. At 11 o'clock, like, how specific is it and how much hand holding is there? And can you give us like a little peek into what, like, the skills that you're teaching, what they are?
Sure. So it depends. So you're not going to get mindset coaching unless you're in silver. Silver is specifically for mindset, which I already described. But in the gold, this is skill based. So my gold training, which is my middle level training, this is exact tactics. This is not frou, take control of her life, or no. This is your A through Z. This is what you need to do this. So, like, this entire month's training is sales. So it's go out here, say this, do this, boom, 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 boom. Here's your game plan. Last month was AI. So every single week in the month of June of 2023, it was every single week. Plug right now. Like, I would share my screen. I'd say, here, go to this AI program. We're going to type it in together. We're going to do it together. And I'd show them how to populate all kinds of different stuff and different types of AI, because obviously there's so many. So, and then my platinum coaching, these are high level people. I don't believe high level people need somebody to call them. Like the thought of me hiring a coach to call me every day and tell me how to do my day, like, girl, no, I don't need that. Like, I'm highly motivated. I'm highly inspired. I'm highly excited about my life. I've never needed somebody to say, hi, okay, now let's have a miracle morning and let's move our body and let's drink some water and let's brush our teeth and let's now go to the kitchen and make our juice. No.
Must be
like,
nice,
you're
Jessie Lee.
looking for a babysitter.
Must be nice. I am. I'm looking for like a babysitter or a wife. I do want someone to take charge of all that stuff, to be honest with you.
At least you're honest. No, that's,
and I feel successful. I do feel successful and happy in my career at the same time. But I would prefer to be taken, for that stuff to not be on my plate.
Well, then you need an assistant. Mom. You don't need a coach. You need an assistant.
That's true. Okay. All right. I'll put a call out.
I mean, you're never going to have a coach who's going to, like, that's...
Yeah.
Or maybe a therapist. I don't know.
I have one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
Or maybe a therapist. First of all, we stand therapy on this channel. Okay. The way that she said that, though, was like, or maybe you need a therapist. Like, ooh. There's so much more that I want to say. I'm not going to say it. I just think that was rude.
Practical skills, though, that you're talking about teaching. All right. Is there anything else that I'm missing or that you want?
Look at her laughing. She's laughing. Jane Marie at this point knows that she's live. She's laughing. She's interacting with the comments that are all hyping her up. She's going to go, in my opinion, anywhere she's getting attention. I think this is really, really gross. And if you don't know who Jane Marie is, she is the creator of the Dream podcast. She's incredible. And if you've not listened to the Dream podcast, I highly suggest it. It's on all of the platforms, whatever you listen to podcasts on. This is where it gets really, really nasty. And I don't know how I want to say this. Let me think about this just for a second. I think that this is, in my opinion, insight into how Jessie Lee really is. This is based on my own personal experience in leadership chats and in person, how she has dealt with confrontation, people that don't agree with what she's doing or saying. And I feel like this is insight into that. This is how she is, in my opinion. I guess that's the best way I want to say that.
Talk about before we end the call here.
I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has been really fun. It's fun to speak to you in person. It feels like kind of bizarre because I only know you from the internet.
Yeah, well, a lot of people only know me through the internet. That's okay, though. Yeah. That's where...
Yeah, but I know you in real life, and I've seen a lot of stuff that you probably didn't want me to see. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can start the relationship and then take it where you want to take it.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, and thanks to your assistant as well for helping us coordinate this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Chris is the best.
Okay.
You should get a Carissa, but not my Carissa.
I need a Carissa. Exactly.
Mine. Although she does not tell me when to wake up or to brush my teeth or any of those things.
Is she in the background there?
Of course. She's Carissa. She's ready to tell me that it's time to brush my teeth.
Hi, Carissa.
Or eat or something.
So rude.
No.
Okay, well, thank you. Have a great week.
Thanks, you too.
Okay.
First of all, shout out to Jane Marie for being so kind in this interview because, oh my God. Oh my God.
Bye.
So I'd like to first of all say I'm really glad we asked about defamation in their little contract.
A little contract. I wonder if she's referring to the release that I signed when I was interviewed for the Dream podcast. So I'm wondering if that's what she's referring to there, but I'm not sure. Little contract. Always got to be condescending.
I just had a bad feeling about these people. I was like, oh, they're anti-MLMers.
Do I ever sit here when you're on a podcast?
Never.
Never. I have a weird feeling.
Yeah, I'm very glad we're saving this live. So, what would you like me to speak on? I'll stay on and answer your questions. Note to self, do not subscribe to this podcast, Leah says. Is that for
Exactly.
real? Was she for real? Oh, gosh.
Jane Marie, that was a great interview. It just was the fact that Jessie Lee couldn't control what was being said.
But listen, they try to rattle you. This is kind of like their thing. And it's impossible.
No, we don't try to rattle you. We are critically thinking. We're asking questions. We're saying, wait a second, in this live you said this, in this live you said that. So what's the story? We're pointing out holes in your story. We're pointing out manipulation tactics, whether it's spiritual, emotional, those types of things. That's what anti-MLM does, is we educate. So nobody was trying to get a reaction out of you. What?
Possible when you stand in your truth, right? So, yeah, she's looking for a babysitter or something. I'm not totally sure what she's looking for.
Oh my
but,
God.
I'm very glad this was fully recorded.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad it was recorded. Wow. DC said, I'm crying. I'm so mad at how Jessie Lee treated Jane Marie. Asking questions isn't trying to rattle somebody. Agreed. Don't cry, friend. Although it's okay. I mean, it's okay, but just know I'm sending you love. Oh, man. Oh, my God, Melissa. Oh, I sensed a rattle when Jane mentioned Aaron's name. Yeah, I think we all did. Also, thank you for the super chat, DC. I appreciate you. This is so wild. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. There's a couple more minutes of this. She continues on. I'm just going to play the video.
On my Facebook and on my TikTok, and I'll upload it on Instagram too. I stay calm because what am I supposed to not be calm about? Like, I'm very proud of what I've accomplished, and nothing I do is scammy. And
nothing you do is scammy. You're part of a multi-level marketing company where the average distributor in 2022 made just under $11. That's scammy. You're offering mindset coaching. In my opinion, that's scammy.
Call me an aggressive coach when she's never paid me a dime.
Your entire brand has been built on being aggressive. All of it. What?
And to get her media resources from somebody who hates me and makes their...
I don't hate her. I know she likes to say that. If I hated her, I wouldn't be wishing her to beat cancer. If I hated her, I wouldn't be as kind as I am when I'm pointing out the inconsistencies in her story. I don't hate her. I don't hate anybody in MLMs. I wish people would get out of MLMs. I'm going to continue to cover the tactics they use to try and recruit people. I'm going to continue to cover the tactics that they use to try and sell you an overpriced product that is mediocre at best. I'm going to continue to do all of that. But just because you're featured on my channel, I'm reacting to content you put out publicly, does not mean I hate you. I don't hate her. Absolutely not.
Living off of hate videos of me is a little, I think she called it aggro. I think that's a little aggro. So I'll save it only because I know if I don't save it, they're going to make YouTube videos about it anyway. That will be psychotic and then whatever. So
are you saying it's psychotic because people are questioning what you're saying? So instead of stopping and pausing and thinking, well, okay, does she have a point here? And using critical thinking, it's easier to just ad hominem attack anybody that covers the things that are coming out of your mouth. It's easier. I mean, that just tells me that you have no leg to stand in the argument. If you're going to automatically assume that somebody hates you or, they're unhappy with their life or any of those things because they're featuring you on their channel or any other MLMer, because they all kind of use that same kind of thing. That just tells me that you have no leg to stand on. Wow.
I'm so glad. Oh, sorry, Wookie Lee. Wait. Why did you hear that? Fake deaf. I knew it. Anyway, so I love y'all.
I don't know if I missed the part, but there was a part of this video where she was upset about being called aggressive or aggro. And in the next couple sentences after, she was like, oh, well, I don't remember if she said it was the silver or the gold level, but she was like, I am kind of aggressive on these calls sometimes. But then she's acting like she was so taken back that somebody would call her aggressive. And then she was trying to say, well, Jane Marie, you've never been a part of my coaching. What do you know? How do you know what it's like? And it's the constant contradiction of, well, my whole brand is based on me being aggressive, how I drive my cars, how I put content out. I'm aggressive. I'm going to give you the information that you need that you may not want to hear sometimes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole aggressive bosslee persona. But then you're going to be upset that somebody is saying that you're aggressive. And then in the next couple sentences say, well, I am kind of aggressive on some of these coaching calls sometimes. If you're aggressive, own it. If that's who you are, own it. But see, I think that in my opinion, this is where I don't want to say the separation, the difference in Jessie Lee versus bosslee. Right now, she's trying to be Jessie Lee. And I feel like her defense mechanism is to be bosslee. That's just my opinion. I'm not an expert in that area. It's just, just my opinion. Julie Anderson, what is up? Guys, go subscribe to Julie Anderson's channel. She's amazing. If you're not already following her on TikTok, you should be. She puts out really great content as well. This is wild. There is a couple more minutes. Wait, I didn't see what happened. But if mods took care of something, I appreciate y'all.
I appreciate y'all. And I'll answer this. What motivates me to keep going? Y'all, I love my life. I'm a joy.
Did I miss the part? Maybe I missed the part because there was a point where I was just like overloaded with, I needed a break or whatever. But there was a part where she was talking to Carissa, her assistant, and she was like, I think I just missed it. So my apologies. I'm going to go back a little bit in my commentary, but she was talking about how Carissa just went to social media and saw that the Dream podcast, was a podcast, and it didn't say anything about anti-MLM or anything like that. If you're going to be on a podcast, if you're asked to be on a podcast, normally you would do some, due diligence, maybe listen to an episode. It's very easy to figure out that the Dream podcast is not pro MLM. All you have to do is listen to the trailer for the upcoming season where Jane Marie, is talking about pyramid schemes and different things like that, and has different clips, and then gives her commentary on that trailer. And that's a 1.5-minute video. I think once you get through the advertisements, it's like 1.5 minutes long. So you're telling me that you just went as Jessie Lee's assistant, you were invited to be a part of the podcast. You went to the Dream podcast on social media. You saw that it was a podcast and you didn't do any further research. So that to me feels like, oh, you just saw that this person has a lot of followers. And so it was an opportunity for you to get in front of more people to pitch your coaching scheme, is what I want to call it. That's just my opinion. And instead of actually listening to the podcast and seeing what it was all about and who Jane Marie is and what she's about, you just decided, oh, she's got a large following, so we're going to go ahead and do this interview. And then halfway through was when, in my opinion, she learned that it was an anti-MLM podcast. And that was when her energy changed. And that was when she got really, in my opinion, again, nasty with Jane Marie. So it's really interesting to me that she is pitching this kind of the way that she is, like, oh, I'm so glad this is, that this is recorded. We're going to keep this here because, defamation and all this stuff. If this interview was anything like what I did with Jane Marie, you sign a release that Jane Marie can use the content for the Dream podcast. So all of this is very interesting to me. And it sounds like your assistant didn't do her job. It sounds like she didn't research enough and set this up and maybe was just panicking. And that's why she was sitting there. I don't know. Just my opinion. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. I think this is just the end of it. I'm actually not going to play the rest because she's just pitching, where to go for her coaching or whatever. And yeah, I'm done with that. So anyways, that was a wild ride. But you know what? I am glad that it all happened the way that it did, because I think that it's giving people insight into who this individual is. I think Jane Marie did an awesome job of asking really thought-provoking questions. I think that she handled herself, not that she needs me to say any of this. She knows who she is, and she's been doing it a lot longer than I have been. And I'm excited for season 3 of the podcast. Apparently, you can pre-order Jane Marie's book that's going to be coming out next spring, March 12th, I think it was, of 2024, which is awesome. Go subscribe to the Dream podcast. If you would like to contribute to the GoFundMe, if one of the moderators could also put that in there, that would be amazing. Is there anything else? If you have not already liked the stream, please like the stream. Again, I don't hate Jessie Lee. I wish her the best. I want her to beat cancer. And I just want her to stop taking advantage of other people, just like any other MLMer. Stop recruiting people into something that the majority of people are going to lose money in or not make any at all. That's a statistic that comes directly from the FTC. We can also dive into the prove it income disclosure statement, but I've already talked about that. So anyways, I hope you guys are good. I hope everybody can do something to decompress after this. I know that this was a lot. I know that some people really, the gaslighting and all of that stuff is really difficult for people at times, for sure. I get it. And go do something that makes you happy. And I appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate you guys liking the stream and subscribing to the channel. Shout out to the members. Shout out to the individual that sent me the video. I appreciate you. And also shout out to Jane Marie, because it was a really cool opportunity to record that podcast. And I'm excited for season 3 to come out. So Jane Marie, you're amazing. All right. That's all I have. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. And I'll see you on the next live stream. Bye, everybody.